So this is a long-term investment by the state of Washington to provide affordable housing. So they have to maintain them. Each year, people go out from the state and say, okay, you have health and safety standards. Have you met all your green standards? It's kept at a standard for 40 years. So to apply, you have to be a 501c3, a city, like Spokane. City of Spokane could apply. The county, a government entity, even tribes. They all qualify to be this housing entity that could get money. So there's a competitive application. You can look online and see all this. The cycle starts in June. A final application is in September each year. And then they announce awards in December. It's very competitive. There are many organizations that apply for this money for all types of different housing. These are all scored since they did it for years, and it's very competitive. So they're saying, how financially viable are you? What is your organization? How many projects have you done? What's your track record? Your readiness, how much money have you got committed to the project? And see, the whole point is this money is given out as a, if you're under like 30% needed income, it's going to be a grant. This money will be a grant. So you will own this building, this housing agency, and lease it to someone like Ryan to operate it. So it's quite a bonus. The lease actually goes to the tenant, so each tenant has a lease, so that's why they're only paying $250 for rent. So the trick to this is the Housing Trust Fund has categories of population that and this is set by the legislature, not by the Housing Trust Fund. So each year, like they will say so much for homelessness, so much for seniors, so much for farm workers, so much for persons with mental illness, so much for persons with developmental disabilities. These are all set by the legislature. So you can advocate to your legislators about, we need more money for X or Y or Z. Now, you notice TBI has not been mentioned. There's never been a set aside for TBI, which it would be nice if there was one. Right now, see, TBI, because it is with DSHS, it could technically come under developmental disability with the trust fund. There's been 3 projects since I've been involved with the trust fund for TBI. The first one was in the mid-90s, 1996, a home in the Pacific, and these are all similar. And what I'm talking about are these particular projects. They're 12-bed facilities for people that are transitioning out of the hospitals. You know, where does someone go if they have nowhere to go and they have a TBI, and the social worker at the hospital is saying, I don't know where this person can go, there's no supports, we don't know what to do. So that was the first one. Terry Home is a nonprofit. You can go online, look them up. They did a second one, which we were the consultants with this one, similar, 2012. So they have like 6 bedrooms in one wing and 6 in the other, and great big family setting and big kitchen, 24-hour service care. The third one is Provale. This is really recent. It's up Shoreline in Seattle, 2016. Same idea. We've used the same architect for the last 2. And the Spokane story is, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, St. Luke's called us and said, we desperately need a project like this because we have all these people here and we have nowhere in this community for them to go. So we tried 2 different times to get another one here in Spokane. And either the funding cycles were off or we couldn't get local commitment, this, that, the other thing. Now we're looking for a nonprofit service provider that could actually manage the facility. So it's a complex thing to put together. And so we've been working 6 or 7 years just to try to get one here. They're all 12-bed. So this was opening day, and you can see it has a big space for the wheelchairs, and there's rooms for like social gatherings, roll-in showers. And the handsome gentleman sitting in the chair is my son, who was there on the opening day, who had a TBI in 1985. So he was there surveying. He lives on his own in Seattle, but he was there seeing if there was going to be good services. etc. So, we're all three different parts of this puzzle. Questions?
These buildings are only transitional, there's nothing for people with.
They don't kick
TBIs?
them out. It's, you know, you can call them transitional. The idea is if you're ready to move out to less restrictive setting, you can.
So my daughter really should be in a place like that for the rest of her life.
Some of these,
And some of
And
the
that's
residents
and some they are.
And that's-
some at Terry Home have been there
Since
for
the
many
beginning.
years.
Yes. There's not like saying you have to go in 2 years if you aren't ready.
But of course, there's no openings.
Of course. That's what I'm saying. We've done 3.
For Lindsay and Jim, if caregiver was wanting to get involved with the legislative part of it, when you call your legislator or write to them or whatever you do, what would be the most important question or statement that you could make to that legislature to get things moving along, either to get a waiver or whatever? How would you direct caregivers to?
Well, I would say, you know, if you really wanted to have the conversation, to have the personal 15-minute meeting. I've had numerous of them this session, where you go up and you sit down and they listen to you for 15 minutes, and you would talk about, gee, why doesn't our state have a TBI waiver? And for my part, you would be saying, we need more money, and how about having a set aside just for traumatic brain injury housing? Just for that purpose, because this is why we need it. You know, you have to be pretty specific with them. Bring some written material to support what you're saying, and be, you know, just simple. Don't, you know, because they listen to somebody every 15 minutes. So you want to make sure you're heard and in very simple terms.
And I guess I would add to that, you know, because our state doesn't have anything specific in terms of services or programs that are state funded for individuals with brain injury, is to say that. Be very specific about saying that. We don't have this. Other states do, so that if you lived in a state with a TBI waiver, and then that is a diagnosis of yourself or a family member, then it automatically opens those doors for you to access the services. You don't have to come through Aging and Long-Term Support Administration and try to apply. Because of the nature of the diagnosis, it opens up access to services. So I would say there are other states that have it. It demonstrates success, and we don't have it. And the challenges are that people then tend to fall through the cracks. Are you good, Valerie?
I was just gonna ask you, is I know you're on the TBI council.
Yes.
Are they doing anything to promote the waiver?
No. Short and sweet.
So these 3 homes on the west side, what
Yes.
What are they called? What's the element they're under?
So you can just go on and look under Terry Home. That is a nonprofit, and they have a website. And you can also go under Provail, who's a large service organization for persons with developmental disabilities, and this program, Brain Space, is under their name, under Provail.
They're licensed as assisted living facilities by the state of Washington. And then they contract with Medicaid to serve Medicaid recipients. They can serve private pay as well as Medicaid.
Terry Home, they only have one private pay, but it's not to be Medicaid.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I did not know that. Yes.
So, my name's Bob.
Hi,
I'm
Bob.
a survivor. I'm a parent of a survivor. This is my son, Dan. Yes. I have a hard time absorbing these
All
concepts.
all this talking heads.
Well, and there's so many facets
Yes.
to it, and so I'm a slow learner. Once I catch on and I have that aha moment, I can see what the end result needs to be, and then I try to reverse engineer it to find the pieces to get there and get the end result. And so I'm still searching for that aha moment. My experience, my wife helps me through this. And like Ryan said, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even be here today. Our experience is that his injury occurred at work, and L&I has paid for all of his care. He spent 2 months at Harborview. He spent 2 months in St. Luke's in the TBI ward, kicking the doors, trying to get out, literally. And when it came time to progress him, there was no place to go. We ended up going to an adult family home who was willing to accept the L&I payment. And so, yeah, and it was a home with all elderly dementia patients, which took its toll on him. He was still healing. The 2 months that he was at Harborview, he was not even conscious of where he was. It took him 3 weeks to open his eyes. When he got to St. Luke's, he started to, gain some realization of where he was, but still wasn't communicating directly. By the time he moved to an adult family home, again, L&I is paying for everything, and they're willing to accept that, and they were really equipped, trained, prepared for some of the challenges that he would present to them, being younger, a little anxious, being TBI with a lot of the normal stuff.
That's exactly what's happening.
And when I say normal stuff, anybody who's been in the TBI ward and experienced some of those outbursts, some of what we would normally call hostilities or vulgar, or watching those professionals being able to respond instead of react, being able to trained in knowing that this is a person who's healing. I'm not offended by what they're saying. I'm not threatened by what they're doing. And so when you move into an adult family home who's dealing with passive patients, and all of a sudden now they're challenged with somebody who's wanting to live, and then he has to move. He spent, I think he was only there 2 months, 4 months, if that. Anyway, he's in a home now where there's others who are categorized as TBI patients, but it's more of a family environment. They don't have any outside experience from their own, and he presents another challenge to them. He's been there for 2 years, and we're still working through some of those issues. One of the things that has come up in kind of a conversation challenge is the funding. It's all coming through L&I. For example, DSHS provides for I forget the term, but a bed hold when he's out on vacation or on a trip, or he has to take a day trip to go to care on the other side in Seattle. DSHS provides a bed hold. L&I does not. They don't recognize that. So now, according to them and their guidance through the Adult Family Home Association, is that they need to be charging him personally for that bed hold. Because L&I tells them and doesn't disclose how much, but they say, well, he receives a payment because of his wages that he was earning at the time he was injured. So he gets a certain percentage of that. And so they're kind of using that as a leverage, as a platform to give him responsibility to pay a bed hold. But L&I doesn't recognize that as a benefit that they would pay out.
So, sir, a suggestion. exactly what you're saying. It's what legislators need to hear to support the concept of asking them for a TBI waiver.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that, and you know, you say that, and I've heard the panel, I'm motivated, I'm inspired, I want to, I still haven't had that aha moment. How do we get to that point? You know,
Well, I think in this case,
she's gonna help me,
okay.
she told me, what do you mean? So she's
Tell
got it.
me, tell me where you live.
We actually live in Stevens County.
Okay. I would suggest there is a woman here at the conference who's also on the TBI council, but who is based over on what I call the east part of Washington.
Dark side.
Didn't hear that from me. Her name is Daniela Clark.
Yes.
I suggest that you work with her to help you bring your aha moment to fruition.
And we have connected, I've given her my email.
Oh,
and
good,
So
good,
yeah.
we're gonna start that path.
Good. Because I think the legislature probably does not understand that that's a funding gap. And they wouldn't know that. So why would they fix it if they don't know that?
Yeah, they need to be
So-
educated.
That's
So
a-
what you're saying, and what I'm hearing is, or what I'm hearing is that the TBI waiver would address the
Could.
LNI
It could.
issue?
Could.
Good.
Because it just seems like there's a disconnect. I mean, there's two state agencies that don't seem to be knowing what, you know, the
Right.
cousins aren't talking about what's really going on in the family.
Right.
And you're absolutely
And that
That happens all the time.
That is
Right.
true. So we've got 5 more minutes. Does anybody else have a question or comment or? Yes?
The funding that you said is only available to the nonprofit 501c3.
Yes.
Why is that not available to for-profit companies?
Because this is all public funds.
Okay.
So it's state capital budget money, so this is all your and I money. This is public funds. So they want it to go to a nonprofit who signs all these commitments for 40 years, and you know it's a whole contractual arrangement. You know, to hold this property for 40 years to serve this population and rent it to these tenants. So it's not meant for the for-profit world. It's meant for a nonprofit who's going to continue to operate as mission-driven.
So it's different from the funding from the Housing and Urban Development?
Honey, similar, that's federal government. Housing and Urban Development do the same thing, except they're the federal government, where this is just a state fund. A project can have both funds together in it.
Okay. So with the people that are living here, are they having the Medicaid waiver pay for their cost of care plus paying money out of their pocket? Or are
I'm
they
sorry, I
paying
didn't
their-
hear the question. We were in a
think
little
the que-
sidebar.
They're talking about participation.
Oh,
Or are they paying their money out of pocket back to their Medicaid waiver as a participation fee? As you were talking earlier about 30%, is that different housing than what you're presenting here, the 3 properties?
No, the tenants there are paying